That, Donations, that was a Filippo stomp fest on everybody else. You see Anderson cruising around just up ahead of Caroli. There's Tomac. So we'll see what Caroli's level of prep is now. He is somewhat retired. He announced his retirement from full-time racing, but lo and behold, he showed up for a couple races this year, and he will be racing Motocross of Nations.
I know Jason wants more. I know he would like to get another win before this season, but unfortunately for him, those two guys that's in front of him, they're on a different level or different intensity, and even though Jason's trying, he's probably getting frustrated. So we'll see if he can get it done today. And so far, not too bad, but
yeah, we'll see if he can get that. Yeah, it's like he got it right. He got a couple podiums in a row.
Nice corner.
There you go. And yeah, as JT's mentioned down the podium, now the thirds aren't feeling so good after he's gotten a couple of them in a row. There's Savacci. Remember, Savacci was fastest in the first qualifying session. So he's got some pace today.
Yeah, this is one of the tracks, I think, for Jason, the way he rides. As you see him, he's slamming into a lot of things as you right there. Foot off, both feet off in both of the corners. And maybe necessarily like you have to kind of calm down. And even the way Eli rides, he hooks his legs on the bike. You know, he's charging, but he's able to use his legs to soak up some of the corners so he doesn't get that pop back. And then obviously we know with Chase, he's very smooth. With Jason, you know, he's old school, man. He just slams it in there, and then it looks cool to watch, but not necessarily as you've seen on some of these corners. Sometimes it makes it a little hard, and he gets a hook back and kind of blows his corner. So I don't know how good this lap's going to be. He's made a few mistakes, but we'll see.
I can never tell sometimes with Anderson what's on purpose and what's mistakes. Even when he's smooth for him, it still looks like he's hanging it out.
Yeah, some people I
like
know
that.
Yeah, that probably wasn't on purpose.
Okay, all right.
Some people like Jason, I'm sure, just like Barsha, sometimes the feet off makes them feel good, like as they're doing something. So I think a part of that, as you just said, Jason, it might be on purpose. And yeah, he's about 2 seconds, almost second half off Roxon. Roxon 55. Wow.
Oh, let's break down this guy. Let's put you on the spot here. Here's your brother.
It's out. The fever's back. Yeah. Malcolm, he's back. We just keep it like that. He's okay. Trying to figure out. And I didn't realize last time he raced here, he was taking me out.
Okay.
Yeah. You probably call that one too. Yeah, he took me out like back in 10th. I'm like, he's like, I didn't see you. I'm like, bro, I'm the only one on the Suzuki. I'm yelling at you all race long. How you didn't see me? Okay. Like, so he's like, I thought you were Brock Tickle. I'm like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, so.
All right. That's pretty good. We did have a chance to ask Malcolm about, the influence of you. This should be interesting.
What have I learned from my brother in his whole career? Man, that's a whole nother interview for that one. But no, I'm just learning a lot of great techniques from him. You know, he's always been a really good starter. His techniques, been his speed in the whoops, his creative lines of racing, and a lot. I feel that. You know, when you ride with somebody, you start riding with fast people, you start adapting their lines, you start just seeing things different, and also too, I believe that a lot of the racing is about confidence. You know, when you feel that you're fit, you're ready, that there's nothing that can hold you back. I mean, it brings nothing but pure confidence. So I feel like it's something that, as a rider, you have to just adapt to. So. But I guess the first things first is getting up to start and running with the guys, and that's the first thing. And once you learn to run with them, you start to gain that confidence.
Malcolm's first race back last week. I'm glad he got here just in time for you to be in the booth.
Yeah.
We can put you on the spot every week.
No, I'm glad he said what he said, because at the end of the day, I think a lot of the stuff that with Malcolm, you know, the way we practice, it was always I let him go out front and I try to blow his doors off. So, you know, I don't know how much he really learned because I was using him as bait, you know, all that. But it was more about when that 2016 in the championship, when he talks about confidence, I will say, I talked to him a lot about just believing in whatever you were going to do. Like whether, you know, you go in there like this weekend, if he's going there and he's trying to get top 10, believe that. Like believe in, try to accomplish what you're trying to do. And I think Malcolm right now, what you see as a rider that's lacking that. And it's been hard for him, especially since he's came back. He's in like an insecurity of not knowing what the motorcycle is going to do. And like I said, the last time he's been here, it's been years. So you can even tell during that interview, he's unsure of like what's going on. And so as the confidence and as I talked to him during the week, it's about, bro, like, just be you. Like, whatever's going to happen is going to happen. You just got to believe and just be confident in whatever your program is, and try to find that like he did in Supercross. So hopefully, I think today should be better than last weekend at Unadilla. Unadilla is a slippery. It's unknown for everyone, and that's a hard one to come back to. So he should be better today.
Yeah, we'll see how Malcolm does. Ended up. I'm trying to find him on the darn list. There was a 16th in this session. No, maybe we'll just leave. Yeah, maybe we'll leave that out.
Yeah.
We'll just focus on Ken Roxon, who's fastest.
Talked about TV.
Okay. Yeah. Today's television schedule will start motos at 1 o'clock Eastern. 4 straight hours of coverage on MAV TV. You can watch MAV TV on Flow Racing. And then James and I will host our post-race show, which will air Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. That is on MAV TV. It's the Geico Budds Creek National. Qualifying is a wrap. And Roxon ended up going into the 155s to hold the top qualifying time. And Tony Caroli ends up second fastest.
Wow.
We got a contender. We'll be right back.
The 50th anniversary season of Pro Motocross is brought to you by Napa Auto Parts. With a nationwide network of parts and care, Napa helps you get up and go. Honda, celebrating 50 years of off-road dominance. And by Lucas Oil. Keep that engine alive.
So Ken Roxon at a 156. A couple other riders threatened that time, and he went into the 155s to become your Monster Energy Fast Lap qualifier here. It's a wrap from the 450 seated session from Budds Creek. We're back with Motos at 1, but first let's catch up with Ken Roxon here. Jason Thomas.
Ken Roxon, that's 2 for 2. You were our fastest qualifier last weekend as well. What do you think is going to be a little bit different today? Try to get the results back up. I know it's been a little bit, more of a struggle than you'd like, but I mean, the pace is there, obviously.
Yeah, the pace is there. I'm honestly just trying to work on myself and get some consistency in. My starts haven't been that great either, and this track today is super tricky. We've been a lot of riders on the track right now, and it's really hard. I think it's going to be really hard to pass, and we got a lot of off cambers, a lot of downhill, so it's very technical. We have some really hard spots, like right before the finish line jump, that is going to be super tricky. But honestly, this is what is it, round 10 or something like that. I'm just going to try it again, get myself back on the podium. That's the goal, and it hasn't really been there, but I want to continue work on myself and not palm my head into the ground and just focus, get some good starts and grind it out to the end.
Well, the results may not be exactly what he's wanting, but he can still go fast, Weech.
No doubt about that. All season long, I've had a chance to sit next to motocross legends who have served as our expert analyst on the broadcast all year long on MAV TV. And these riders have a history that goes back through all 5 decades of AMA competition.
I was such a fan as a young kid of the sport, so I grew up at it, when the sport was really in its infancy, and got to see a lot of the European riders when I was in the single digits, 8, 9 years old, watching the European riders come over here and really debut and showcase the sport of motocross. And so for me, I became a fan at a very young age, and then as I progressed, started riding myself, started racing, and then had quite a bit of success early on, so it was kind of fun for me. And I grew up in what I would consider the best era, the golden era.
I think the 80s put the stamp on because we had Supercross, and the technology caught up to Supercross. And so when that happened, I feel that I was in the golden era because the bikes became better than the riders, and it's continued to go on. The bikes are so fast now, but in the 80s, the bikes caught up with the riders' ability and strength and then surpassed it.
I just always say I'm so lucky to be able to be a racer in the 90s. I mean, it's luck that it worked out that way. I was lucky to be able to create an atmosphere that people were drawn to and could watch and be part of that. I'm so proud of these athletes today that are out here. This is a tough job, but growing up in the 90s is something I wouldn't replace.
When I look back in my era of competition, I just go to the numbers. You look at James Stewart, Chad Reed, Kevin Windham, Steve Lampson, multi-time champions that I had the opportunity to race and get the best of them. Not to talk bad about the guys before me, because they were definitely animals and strong, and those are the guys that I looked up to that laid the foundation for me and who I wanted to be. But man, I got to race against some great guys.
The older I get, the longer I've been retired, you go back and you see old photos of Red Bud, let's say, and the fence line just lined with people, and first, second, or third, you're on the podium, but to see that and to feel that, the energy, those are what I miss from the racing side of it.
As a kid growing up, the only thing I cared about was pro motocross. I think it kind of shows in my career. I just love the great outdoors. Watching Ricky Carmichael, Bob Hanna, and all the guys that you've seen on the broadcast this year racing. It's an honor to be a champion, and when I held that championship trophy, to see the names on that deal, just that day alone when I successfully got the championship was man, it brought you chills for sure.
It's been a fun ride celebrating the last 50 years, but who will be the champion this year? Well, it starts with leading the points, leaving this race. You can vote. Go to @ProMotocross Instagram story. And right now, a little edge. Fans are giving Tomac a slight edge. And he's 1 point behind.
Yeah,
how about that?
He's a champ.
All right. And that speaks volumes. And we'll be speaking again later today. James Stewart, Jason Thomas, and myself, Jason Wygant, will be back 1 o'clock on MAV TV for 4 straight hours of coverage on the Geico Budds Creek National. See you then.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal. The sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us, on roads that unite us. Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to be the fuel that keeps you firing on all cylinders.
When performance matters most, the pros trust Crown Performance. Constructed from Teflon, Kevlar, and stainless steel, Crown Performance brake lines exceed all industry standards, will hold up against the harshest conditions, and provide ultimate stopping power, whether it's for the street or the track. We offer customized sizes and colors to fit any application. Visit crownperformance.com to learn more. crownperformance.com. crownperformance.com.
Go2Bank, the ultimate banking app and debit card. Your go